All right, fellas, let's jump into tonight's article. I think you guys are going to love this one. This one is from Vice, which is a leftist site, right? Even some of these leftist sites are starting to call these girls out. So let's jump into this. You're going to love this. This one is called The Anxiety of Still Being Single in My Late 20s. This is by Tara, and I'm not even going to try to butcher her name. Just call her Tara. And this was just written about a month ago, so this is a very recent article. She says, "The anxiety of still being single in my late 20s. I feel like I am in a race to live my life. A race where I'm already lagging. That's what happens when you wait too long." Here she is right here. "I know I'm young, but I can't help but to feel anxious about still being single at 28. Yep, she's very late in the fourth quarter here. You got to put in the end zone. All right, we're late in the fourth quarter, and she's got to stick one in the end zone, right? Stop being so picky and pick your man. Shoot your shot. Get off the CC. Do you have a boyfriend? It's a question my family asks me whenever I see them. Something I'm sure many Asians can relate to." That's the thing about Asian culture, guys. As a female, you are expected to settle down and get married in your early 20s. And if you don't, you know what they call you in Japanese culture? There's a name for this. I don't know if you guys know. If you're unwed and beyond the age of 30 in Japanese culture, they call you Christmas cake. You know what Christmas cake is? I think it's like leftover Christmas cake. Like at, I guess after Christmas, there's like a sale or something on all these cakes that have that are unsold, that nobody purchased. They call it Christmas cake. So you could Google that, but that was something that I was made aware of. So that was interesting to read. Christmas cake. Actually, let's Google this. Let's take a look. All right, here it is, guys. I just Googled it. Images for Japanese Christmas cake. Why are Japanese women called Christmas cake? In Japan, women had traditionally been expected to marry at a young age, and those who were unmarried after the age of 25 were metaphorically referred to as unsold Christmas cakes, in reference to items which are still unsold after the 25th. So that's why they call these chicks Christmas cake. That's a new one for us, fellas. She goes on to say, "I'm Thai and Iranian." Interesting mix. "And in both these cultures, women are expected to get married in their early to mid-20s. Very, very true. And I wish we bring back those stipulations here to the U.S. because that was also expected. It was actually younger here in the U.S. growing up. My grandmothers used to tell me, like, yeah, like, you turn 18, you were expected, many women already had their husbands picked out once they turned 18. A lot of these girls were way ahead of the curve because my grandmothers would say the last thing you want to do is, go into your 20s not having a husband because it gets harder and harder. Even my grandmothers realize that, right? My own grandmothers were married young. But that was a different time before feminism. So she goes on to say, yeah, you're expected to get married in your early 20s in her culture. I'm 28 and I'm just unmarried. I'm not just unmarried, but I've also been single for longer than I care to admit. I understand my family's concern. I'm worried too, but honestly, I don't need reminding that my biological clock is ticking. Because you could probably feel it, right? I first experienced baby fever 3 years ago when I was 25, the average marrying age for women in Thailand, where I've lived for the past 4 years. I was working as an English teacher, and one very cute, very sweet toddler made me feel a kind of affection for children that I had never felt before. I don't want kids right this second, but I definitely want them in my early 30s. Oh, I just hear too many of these chicks talk like that, fellas. They talk about having kids. I can still have kids. Look, J-Lo had kids in her 50s. No. Okay, J-Lo, first of all, is a multimillionaire. She could have kids in her 60s. She's going to have a team of scientists behind her, and it took a lot of work for her to have that baby. It was very dangerous, too. She could have lost her life. However, even in your 30s, as so many of these feministas these days try to point out, like, oh, I used to have kids in my 30s. That's not bad. No, look, these chicks do not like to do the research, right? Even having kids in your 30s, there is a lot of chance for complications, miscarriages, birth defects, difficult pregnancies, having twins, you name it. You girls should do your research. This is why the younger you are, the better it is to have these children. Don't wait. So she goes on to say, I imagine I'd be happy with just this one kid, but I may realize later that I want more. Still single in my late 20s and with no serious prospects for a partner, these goals seem to drift farther and farther away. Yep, and as you get older, they will drift even farther and faster. Dating in Bangkok is hard, or at least it is for me. I grew up in the United States and find it difficult to date Thai men because of language and cultural differences. Meanwhile, those who move here from other countries only stay for a few years and don't usually look for long-term relationships. I struggle to find someone I can genuinely click with while actively pursuing my other goals, a stable career I'm passionate about, learning new languages and skills, and traveling. I can't help but compare my experience to those of men my age who are in the same dating pool but look, at least to my eyes, like they're enjoying the ride a lot more. Thank you for being honest, because she's right. Guys, especially today, men have waken up. Men are realizing that they are the prize, especially after the age of 30, right? That dating is shifting in their favor and not women's. They are starting to realize that, hey, I've got everything I need, right? I got everything I ever want. And if they want to get into an LTR or married, they're going to look for the highest value woman they can. But for men, it just gets better and better and better, because our social value is not primarily attached to our looks. It is a little bit, but primarily it's our finances, our social value, who we are in the world, our status. All of that comes into play, especially after we turn 30 as men. For women, because it's tied primarily to their youth and fertility, after the age of 30, all bets are off. Okay, and in many cultures, after the age of 25. In all honesty, biologically after the age of 25. A lot of these girls don't want to hear that. This could be for a number of reasons that guys are having such a party. But that darn biological clock has a lot to do with it, she says. Men's fertility lasts longer than women's. Correct. And without the same pressure from their biological clock, men have a longer time to date, have different partners, and grow their careers until they feel stable enough to start a family. Yeah, I mean, men, you could essentially have a family at 7 years old if you want to, right? I mean, I'm being, facetious when I say that, but I mean, you can technically if you want to. For her, she cannot do that, right? You can't do that. So she goes on to say, meanwhile, women are at their reproductive peak between their late teens and late 20s. True. Again, late 20s, heading into 30s, you're going to have, you're coming into this, this environment where you can have, bless you, Gizmo sneezing, you can have complications with birth. You don't want to take that risk. You don't want to spend, the next 80 or whatever, like 70 years of your life caring for your child because he's disabled or he has autism or whatnot, and you have to care for that kid forever, not just the 18 years, but beyond that, when you risk having a child after the age of 30. That's based on facts and statistics. Google it if you don't believe me. Fertility starts to decline at age 30. Okay, she's being honest here. Then rapidly in your mid-30s, very true, and by 45 years old, it's very difficult for most to get pregnant. Don't take that risk, guys. Even if she's after the age of 45, don't take that risk. Because it's like playing around with the other dog. This stark difference has dramatic societal consequences, since men don't have to start planning their futures as early as women. they basically have an extra decade to figure things out. All very true. So women, this is why God gave women the ability to mature faster than men, right? We're kind of just dumbasses until we hit a certain age. I was kind of a dumbass until probably mid-30s. And then I started to wise up. It took me a while. But for women, they're required to age, faster, right? Because they have to make these really life-altering decisions at a young age. This is why you want to be strategic as a woman. You don't want to be tactical. You want to be strategic, and you want to plan out your future while you're still young. Where guys, we can kind of piss away for a while, but I don't advise doing that. The faster you can find your path and purpose as a man, the better. So you don't end up, farting around out there doing nothing and playing video games and being a loser. Okay, so she goes on to say, I'm nowhere near age 45. But I'm already dreading each year I age, now feeling like I'm in a race to live my life, a race where I'm already lagging behind. So my question is, what happened to these guys that she's dated? Where are those guys? It's always the same story with these girls, right? Just way too picky, way too choosy. I'm not going to settle for anything less. Always chasing the bigger, better deal, the BBD. And just not going, hey, this guy treats me well. He doesn't cheat on me. Freaking comes home at night. He doesn't have a dating rotation of 6 other women, so he's good enough. But no, I want that guy. I want the guy who cheats with my best friend, steals my money, borrows my car, doesn't put gas in it. I want that guy. All right, so she goes on to say, I have a job, but there are still 1,000,001 other things I don't have. A house fit for a family, savings for our future security, a monthly income to fit our daily expenses, just to name a few. I'd like to have a child after getting married, and I have to date. And to get married, I have to date. Ideally, be in a stable relationship for a few years. If I want to have my first child by the time I'm 32, to avoid fertility problems, then I don't have much time to make it happen. I need to meet someone now. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be spending your time writing this article, and you should be out there, engaging with the community. Because, get offline. Go out there and engage with your hobbies and the, friends and things you like to do. You'll meet somebody who likes the things that you like. Women are under more pressure to transform from a fun career 20-something to a responsible, successful 30-something. Us millennial women were taught at home, in schools, by movies, and even by strangers that we can have it all. Can have it all! Woo! Hot girl summer! That if we want it, we could be successful career women and caring mothers. That we'd be happy once we become both. But they never tell you about what it takes to get there. And that even when you tick all those boxes, successful career, happy family, success isn't guaranteed. Or that when you do succeed, you won't necessarily be happy. Probably because, again, like I said, society completely defrauds these women. They constantly mislead them. They constantly just blow sunshine up their skirts and don't tell them the truth. Constantly lie to them, so they expect this, they're just shocked when reality hits them in the face, and it's like, whoa, this is reality, this is a little ugly, this is a little harsh. Right? This is, especially her being a millennial, right? That's the participation trophy generation, where you got rewarded for doing nothing, being nothing, accomplishing nothing. Here's your trophy, you loser. They just gave you a trophy anyway, and it's sad, because that was part of the self-esteem movement, as we used to call it back in the 90s. You guys who are old enough to remember, a self-esteem movement. I had a younger brother and sister who are millennials, who were in kindergarten at that time. And I remember that was the big thing back in the day. And I was telling my parents, this is a really terrible idea. These kids are going to grow up spoiled brats. These kids are going to grow up narcissistic. These kids are going to, grow up full of themselves and self-centered and all this. And no, it's just to help them so they don't feel bad about themselves. And just from a basic psychological, philosophical standpoint, I think it was Epictetus, a Stoic. You guys who read books on Stoicism used to say that suffering is growth. Suffering is required for you And your cells, even your cells, your brain cells, your DNA, everything that makes up you to grow, to expand, to learn, to become better, to become stronger. There's even, I forget what they call them, but there was a philosopher who used to study trees, I believe, and he said that trees need to have resistance against the wind. So the trees that have so yeah, when you plant a tree in the ground, right, and say it's in a windy, very windy city or a windy environment, and it's constantly having resistance against that wind, that tree's root is actually going to become stronger, okay, than a tree that was, say, that was placed in a place like maybe California where it's not so windy, right? The root of the tree that is facing all this resistance constantly, all this pressure, is going to have a much stronger root. It's going to grow a stronger base versus a tree that doesn't, right? And some of these trees that have no resistance just fall right over, right? They don't really continue to grow and expand. And it's the same thing with us as humans, right? We need to struggle, right? We need to suffer. We need to feel that pain, because we don't learn from pleasure, we learn from pain. So this is, she's a millennial, and I just had to interject there because I've seen a lot of millennials just, at least not the guys that follow me, but guys who don't follow me, become complete pussies, right? They don't want to try. It's like they give up so easily. They're such quitters. It's just, it's sad, right? It's sad. This is why I say it's so easy to become successful these days, because so much of that generation of millennials are just, they're just losers, man. They're just quitters, right? They give up so easily because they don't have a strong root, because they never had to face resistance, because they didn't really have to suffer through anything. Right? That's why a lot of these kids, especially the newer kids today, that are still part of the self-esteem movement, that are 18 or fresh out of high school or even still in high school and even younger, they kind of talk like 50-year-old adults as if they had all this life experience, just completely pretentious and just condescending at sometimes, and just nauseating to listen to, because there's no humility there, right? There's no humbleness, and it's just not an attractive quality. And it's you're looking at this basically child and going, why are you talking like you're my grandfather, right? Get over yourself a little bit here. Anyway, to go on with her story, she goes on to say, she's a year and a half away from turning 30. I suddenly want to hit pause, but life keeps going, so I defy expectations and change my perspective instead. I still want to get ahead in my career. No, don't do that. Forget the career right now, honey. You are in literally the fourth quarter, right? Put the career on hold, right? It's like being in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. Okay, and they're like, go in there, we have 2 minutes to score, and you're like, hold on, I'm going to drink this Gatorade and chill out. Can we call it timeout or something? No, you got to play the game. It's too late for all that. Can I change my wristbands? No, you got to play. Okay, but all she should be doing 24/7 is trying to find her husband at this point. That's what I would advise her, because she wants to get married, right? Forget the career. I always tell these girls, 9 to 5 is never going anywhere, right? That's always going to be there for the rest of your life. 9 to 5 is always going to be there. But you know what? Youth is not. Okay, you're not always going to be able to hang on to that. Take advantage of it. Okay. She says, I still want to get ahead in my career, but at least I have a job. I might not have a boyfriend, but I do have a solid set of friends. I may not have children by my early 30s, but perhaps that will prepare me to become a better mother. She's talking like the game's over. She still has a year and a half, man. You got to get to work on this. She's sitting here writing this long article. This probably took her a couple of days. She could have been out there at some event or some meetup or something like that, beating some dude. One thing that's helped is learning about women who are happy to have children later in life. Sometimes I seek out these stories. That's called coping, by the way. We call that coping. Other times they come by surprise in books, magazines, and daily conversations. I remember reading a Facebook post from an acquaintance who talked about what it was like growing up with an older mom. Her mother's depth of wisdom after having lived longer and positivity during difficult situations became a source of motivation. That even when her mother was in her old age and struggling with her health, it's this image of her mother that inspired her to keep chasing after her dreams. You know what? That can come from any woman who's older in her age. Okay, I mean, she's trying to look for these exceptions to the rule, like, oh, she was an older mom, she had more wisdom. No, my grandmothers got married when they were 18 years old. Okay, and by the time they were 80, they were full of wisdom. It wasn't, because they didn't wait to have kids or get married till later in life. That had nothing to do with it. It's just that's how we are as humans, right? So she's just trying to backwards rationalize the fact that she doesn't think she's going to be able to put one in the end zone before the fourth quarter, and she's going to go into sudden death, which she's technically already in at 28 and a half. At least for her, because she wants to lock down the high-value guy and have a family and get the house and all this. I would forget the career. I would be working on this 24/7 if I were her. If that's what she wants to do. If you just want to be a career woman, then do that. That's fine. But she's saying that's not what I want to do. So why are you doing that? Right? Go live at your parents or something and then go chase a dude. I've also read articles by mothers who said that they had a more relaxed outlook on life than they did when they were younger. That goes for everybody. I don't know why she's being divisive here. That's everybody. Jeez Louise. Which helped them stay calm when their kids threw temper tantrums or got sick. They've been through enough difficult situations to know that in the end, things will turn out okay. I think it will turn out okay for me too. Not if you continue down this trajectory. I mean, just statistically, you're going to become more depressed. You're going to become more sad, more miserable. You're going to see more therapists. You're going to get on antidepressants. I mean, this is just based on statistics. So this is why I say, I'm trying to give her some advice here. Tara, if you're watching, drop everything and go find your husband. I mean, you should be on a mission to find the man that you're going to marry. This was dated March 29, 2022. So this is a few months back. And you still have a little bit of time, but I would not waste it writing these articles for Vice of all places. Instead, I would get off and go out there and try to, look for a miracle. But, I mean, it shouldn't even be a miracle. I mean, here she is right here, right? Here she is here. I can't enlarge this, but she doesn't look, doesn't look ugly or anything like that by any means. Don't message her, guys. Don't send her any nasty messages. Leave her alone. I'm just saying that looks-wise, she's not, disabled or anything like that. She's not, looking like the elephant woman here. She's not a purple hair feminist. She's not 300 pounds overweight. She's 28 years old. There she goes. Give me a break. Right? This is her right here. Nice-looking young lady. Easily can get some dude. But, like I said, I think her problem is she has these unrealistic expectations, and she needs to lower them a bit, right? She needs to lower them a bit. I mean, this chick would have no problem finding some dude, right? I don't know if she's in Thailand or what, but whatever country she's in, she can find easily a hardworking man with a nice, blue-collar job or white-collar job, comes home at night, isn't running around with his boys and leaving her at home, willing to treat her right. So I don't want to hear this hogwash that she can't find herself a man. She's not bad looking. I don't know about this dress. It's kind of loud. Maybe that's the style over there. It's like royal blue with giant flowers, like giant daisies. So. She looks like, I guarantee this chick wears flats too. She looks kind of like that nerdy type of girl. But again, I mean, she should have no problem finding some dude. But stop pissing on the nice guys, which I'm sure she's done in her 20s. She's probably already got these guys in her friend zone, like we always talk about. She's probably got an army of these dudes in her friend zone. Pick one of those guys and tell him, hey, you're the one. I'm picking you, right? Me and you. Let's do this. You want me? Let's do this. And you can have your fantasy. You could close up shop, get married, and have your kids. And you know what? You'll do it before the time runs out on you and everyone's left the stands, the stadium's empty, and the lights are all off, and the game's over, right? You still have time. But as you can see here, here's a photo of her. It's not bad looking, man. You can do it. I believe in you. Go do it, Tara. Go do it. I know you can do it, right? Until next time, fellas, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of her story here. Let me know what you think about what she had to say. Anything you would like to add, anything I might have missed, drop your comments below. Usually we cover these chicks in their 30s and 40s and beyond, but this chick happens to still be in her 20s, and she's getting worried. She's not getting it done, right? She wants to have a family. She wants to have kids. She wants to do it all, but she's already 28. In Asian culture, she's already Christmas cake, which, she admitted she is. So she has to get it done, right? She's got to jump on this. But drop your comments below, and keep it constructive in case Tara is watches this video, right? If you have good advice for her, drop them below. Trying to help these chicks, right? We're not just trying to bash them, or we're not trying to make fun of them, as like some people accuse us. We're trying to help them. So give her some help here, because she's 28. She's got a year and a half. Give her some advice. Until next time. And with that said, I'm gonna wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button right now. Do it now. More importantly, guys, make sure that you hit that notification bell as well, so that you're notified whenever I upload a brand new coaching video to my YouTube channel, but also whenever I go live. A lot of you guys have been like, hey, Em, I don't know when you go live. And then I found out the next day you were live, and I missed the whole thing. This is why you gotta make sure you hit that notification bell as well for the 33 Secrets, so you are notified whenever I do a live stream. And I tend to do these live streams just on the fly, whenever I feel like it. Okay, those tend to be the best ones. And on those live streams, you can ask me questions. And I answer a lot of guys' questions for free. So you want to make sure you hit that notification bell as well. That way you're notified whenever I do a live stream and whenever I upload a brand new coaching video here to my channel. Okay, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And for all of you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, platinum pill content that I'm teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world are constantly and consistently cold approaching and cold closing every single day, every single week, and every single month all over the world. I kid you not. That is how powerful this skill is. Learning pickup, learning game. This is a skill that you can use not only to bring 8s, 9s, and 10s, beautiful women, very attractive women into your life, but it's a skill that you can use in every other aspect of your life. Whether you want to get into better shape, you can game yourself. Whether you want to get a better job, a better career, you could use these skills as well. I was able to get 6-figure corporate jobs with Fortune 100 companies. I beat out hundreds of candidates to get these jobs, all thanks to my pickup and game skills. I was able to build a very successful business using my pickup and game skills, doing what I love. And now here I am acquiring other businesses, negotiating with other entrepreneurs for their businesses and their e-commerce sites and websites, cash flowing sites, using my pickup and game skills. It's like a billion-dollar skill at this point. It's that powerful. Okay, so you can not only use it to gain the lifestyle that you want, beautiful cars, beautiful houses, beautiful women, but you could use it to just take yourself to another level.
Okay, that's how powerful this stuff is. So right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me in 7 Months of Mastery. So take advantage of it. It's really easy to get signed up. All you need to do is click that link below. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. And like I said, it's the best way to support me in what I'm doing here. So if you want to support me, that's the best way to do it. Jump into 7 Months of Mastery. It's only $1. Click the link below. Take you over to my website and you can get signed up right now. It takes 2 seconds. So do that now and I will see you in my next coaching video. Signing out with the DeLorean. So many of you guys are like, hey, why are you always traveling? Shoot at home, shoot at home. So here I am shooting at home, but I'm about to travel in about a week, so I'll be gone for a month. So trying to shoot as many as at home as possible, so you guys stop asking me this question. Like, shoot more at home. Why are you always traveling? That's what you do when you live the life. You travel, you live it like a rock star.